Well, Rachel, sometimes a trip down the aisle can be doomed even before the bride and groom say their I do's. Local Reverend Jimmy McNamara is the author of the book Tales from the Wedding Altar and is here with some surefire signs that happily ever after may not apply to your nuptials. Reverend Jimmy Mac, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Sean.
So, okay, let's start from the beginning here. One of the first things that you look at, whether or not you should marry someone, is when the license was purchased.
Exactly. As part of our duties, too, as being a part of the state, is that you have to make sure that the wedding license is current and it's not out of date. Now, one of the other things I look at is whether or not the groom is inebriated.
That's important.
It's very important. I've seen it happen so many times where the wedding license ink is just barely dry and they're drunk. And I had one ask me one time, said, will you marry us? I said, what's your fiance's name? And he said, Patty. I said, what's her last name? He said, hang on. Hey, Patty. And he hollers for it. So I wouldn't do the wedding.
And that's a story the in-laws, the future in-laws, would love to hear.
Would love to hear that.
And the second thing you say to look out for is whether or not someone needs to be talked into it if they really want to go through with the ceremony.
If they've been under duress or being pressured. I had one young lady that came to me before the wedding and said, is this a real ceremony? I said, well, yes, it is. And I said, why would you ask? He said, because he says, really not. And they had bought their license, but he was trying to gain citizenship.
Oh.
So when I faced them with the problem, the groom and the best man took off in their car and they left.
And these are situations that you may not find in other cities, but certainly here in Las Vegas.
Certainly here in Las Vegas, exactly. You know, Clark County sells between 150 and 195,000 marriage licenses a year.
Wow. That's a lot.
It's incredible. We're the wedding capital of the world.
And I imagine the divorce capital, too, if some of these people don't listen to your advice. And, of course, if somebody is unsure, if they're backing out at the last minute, not a good sign.
Not a good sign. If they come to me and say, you know, let me have a couple more shots of tequila and I'll get the courage to do this, you know, stop and think about it. Sleep on it and don't do something that's going to affect the rest of your life. We are the wedding capital of the world, but I would like for us to be known as the wedding capital of the world because the marriages last, not because we do more.
And it really is a good idea to get together before the wedding and do some counseling to make sure you're headed down the right road.
Exactly. Don't meet in a casino and then go to a chapel a half hour later.
Although it does make for some good headlines with some celebrities who come through and do these quickie weddings too. We wouldn't have a show if this didn't happen.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Reverend Jimmy Mac, thank you so much.
Sean, thank you. It's been a privilege. Enjoyed it.
Again, the book is called Tales from the Wedding Altar, and you can pick it up now.
Right there.
Thanks so much, Rachel.